is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Ungrabber here, and this is another DC Legends video. In this video, we're going to continue the three-part series on my top 3 favorite PvP auto teams, or auto PvP teams. And in this one, it is a Stunlock team. So, the main components of this team are Hawkgirl and Killer Frost. And what I will do is go back and I'm going to explain this one a little bit about why it is great, or the thing that makes it awesome. Ooh, go back. Heroes, not campaign. Anyway, so first off, her basic 75% chance to stun, period. Then next, you come here to gain 50% turn meter if an enemy gets stunned on a team member's turn. So anytime someone gets stunned, she gets 50% turn meter. If she's giving 75% stun, plus the 60, I think it's the 25%. Ooh, no, not that one. Yeah, I think it is this one. There we go. Sorry. Apply 1 additional stun to a random enemy if any teammate has a positive immunity, which is also awesome. But the reason why this is so important is because it goes perfectly with Killer Frost, who has this ability down here. Killer Frost heals for 20% max health if an enemy is stunned. So guess what? She'll heal for 20% every time Hawkgirl lays down a stun, and then a 65% chance to use Ice Spear when an enemy is stunned. This procs, seemingly to me, way more than 65%. Maybe my RNG is just awesome, but that's how it goes. Now that I've explained that part, here are the other components. Typically, when I'm building a team, I try to start off with a duo and then just add complementary pieces, support pieces to make it better. Obviously, you saw Lex. Yes, he does overheal, which is great, but the thing that you really need him for is the turn meter off of a buff. Well, the reason why you want that is because once the turn meter hits on Hawkgirl and Killer Frost, they get to go before the other team, hopefully. Hawkgirl can then lay down a stun, Killer Frost will then throw an Ice Spear and then also go. So in order to do that, I have actually like 4 versions of this team. The first is the automatic that I'll show you, and the automatic version is when you have Castaway Green Arrow. The first attack he goes with is A3, which decreases turn meter and gives him invisibility, which buffs him, which then gives Lex the opportunity, or triggers Lex to go ahead and give turn meter to Hawkgirl and Killer Frost. Team starts off first. Stun starts, stun lock, the rest of the team can't do anything else about it. Now the other options, this goes progressively higher up because I need the speed. And so if I'm facing a team that has a Castaway or like a Flash, then what I will do is, let me go to the next automatic version of this, which is, one more. Reverse Flash. He also comes out in his third, and his third buffs. That's all I care about. I don't even care what the third does as long as it buffs. That puts, that procs Lex, and then you keep going. Then you have the semi-automatic teams. They call semi-automatic because basically I need to do one move first for it to go. Flash is part of the semi-automatic team. He opens with his 3 like everyone else in this game pretty much. So what I'll do is I'll open with his second. His second buffs. He buffs without attacking in case you have like a Arcus or an Azrael floating around out there. That buffs everyone. Turn meter goes on. They start stunning. Stun lock. But the one I love the most for it is Wally West, and I need to do a versus on those guys. I'll do that later. Wally West, same deal. His second actually gives everyone turn meter. I think it's 20% turn meter, and he also buffs himself, which then procs Lex, as we said. So those are the basic compositions, and if I ever run into a situation where there is a Martian Manhunter or a Cheetah who's sitting on that list, who's sitting there, and I need to go first still, what I will do is replace Lex with Martian Manhunter. You don't have the heal. It's a little bit more likely that you'll die, but you will still be guaranteed to go first. Now, one tip to all of this. This team, to me, technically could be the number one spot. I put it at number 2. The reason why I say number 1 is that when this team wins, it's more often than not 3 stars. If not that, then 2 stars. When they don't win, I am surprised. Again, with all these teams, you have to pick your spots, right? But when they don't win, I am very often surprised, but it is a possibility. The team that I put in the first place, they will almost always give you a 1 star, but they basically never lose. Or they have the highest rate of success. I shouldn't say basically never lose, but they have the highest rate of success in terms of just finishing the battle with a victory. This team has the highest rate of success if you include 3 stars. They'll 3-star more battles than that team. So let's move on to the battles. So this is the first automatic comp with Castaway in there. And I'm actually doing the voiceover after doing these. Basically what I have to do, because, you know, I got a job, I'll record the battles while I'm just playing throughout the day, and then I'll talk over them later. So as you see, Castaway does his first. Hawkgirl led with her third, stunned Grundy. Power Girl is just now getting her shot. Stunned Grundy. That procced Killer Frost. That also gave Hawkgirl 50% turn meter. The more she stuns, the more she just gives herself turn meter, which is just awesome. And on top of that, Castaway's basic also reduces turn meter and removes 2 buffs, so it's pretty awesome there as well. And one other thing about this, and I think I showed this in a later video, is that with this team, usually affinity doesn't matter. There are bad matchups, don't get it twisted. Like, there are ways for this team to lose, but it's not affinity that I'm worried about. This is the example. So you have Reverse Flash. I think this is in a Red Alerts mission, but this was the only all Mystic team I could find. But you'll see what I'm talking about here. Yeah, and this is a little bit weird because it was in the middle of a Red Alert, so the powers aren't set, the abilities aren't set yet, and I forgot to put it on auto. Anyway, so you see him go first. Now, this matchup, given that I want to buff a lot, and it has Wonder Girl here, I should be worried, but I'm not. Just because I know once the stuns get going, it's going to be difficult for this team to be defeated. I can't remember if everyone in this survived or not, but yeah. But as you can see, Killer Frost stuns, gives Hawkgirl 50% turn meter. Hawkgirl stuns, gives herself 50% turn meter. Then also procs Killer Frost Ice Spear. And then Flash's job is just there to basically buff. The more he buffs, the more turn meter they get. I'm actually surprised that Wonder Girl hasn't really cracked the whip that much. Oh, there she is, stunned. Oh, there's that whip that I was not hoping for. There it is again. The moment I said that, of course, she starts laying waste to people. Now you're hoping for a stun on a Wonder Girl. Killer Frost really does give some hurt, though. Like, Killer Frost is severely underrated. She really, really, really lays down the wood. And so as you can see, affinity for this team, and this is the fully automatic team with Reverse Flash, affinity doesn't matter. And I know this team was, well, no, it had Wonder Girl in there, and Star Sapphire is a beast right now, so that was a pretty good comp. That has Zatanna in there, so she's good for beginners and mid-game, but not so much end-game. And let's see, with this one, I think I put Flash in. Now, I have to be honest, I love the Flash. I loved his rework that he had like a year plus ago. Man, it might have already been 2 years ago. I'm getting old. But I was using Wally West a lot more. However, I basically ground my fingers to the bone trying to get the Blue Lantern Flash, and purely for that reason, I absolutely love him and just try to use him as much as possible. And he's not a bad character. I just have some other better options, but he still fits just, and when I say better, by a hair, but I really do love playing with him. And as you saw in the beginning, I just had to use his second, let that proc Lex, and then just let the team go at it. And I gotta be honest, man, Cassidy. I love Cassie. I love Cassie, Cassandra. Cassandra Cain, I really do like her when she's on my team. But she is one of the most annoying characters just to get rid of. Like, she's not going to win this battle, but it just takes so much to get her down. Oh, but what can I say? And there goes that. And this is what I meant before. The other team, the first place team, and I'm starting to reconsider a little bit. Oh yeah, and you'll see this final composition. This one's my favorite just because Wally West is my favorite speedster in this game. There is a debate as to whether he's the best or not, and I said I'll make a video on that later. But and Barry Allen is actually my favorite Flash. I have to be honest though, I haven't really read too much of the Wally West Flash. Anyway, but he's my favorite just because he gives so much turn meter, and that was a semi-automatic. I started with his second gives turn meter and buffs. Then Lex gives turn meter. Wally also has a buff on his A1. There you go. In this team, I don't have to worry about affinity too much. I just have to kind of watch out for certain matchups that won't fit. But for the most part, they can take out anyone. And this was my fully automatic team before I got the components required to make my first place team. And I'm genuinely starting to think that maybe I should reverse the order. Well, I'll probably talk about it more when I actually go over the first place team. Maybe the first place team should have been second. But as you can see, Star Sapphire is a beast right now in the game, and she could individually take out any one of these tunes. But if she's stunned, she can't hurt you. So, though that is the second place auto PvP team, maybe it should be first place. See you in the next video.